Hi guys, I just read through your synthesis outlines last night and gave you each individual feedback on some things you could do to improve those papers. And I saw a few things that I needed to address to most of us, so I thought I'd put together a short video and a PowerPoint here with some tips for your synthesis paper. First thing I want you to remember is that we're not comparing and contrasting. We're doing a synthesis paper, and those are two different things, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in a minute. But I want to remind you of what the course says about synthesis. It introduces it as being like a chocolate chip cookie. So you're taking ingredients that go well together and making an even more delicious whole. I need to make chocolate chip cookies now. We're not pulling things together that don't dialogue with one another or don't converse with one another and trying to come up with a product. So, for instance, if this makes sense, my 3-year-old asked if he could have apple juice with his cereal the other day. And those two things would not synthesize well together. Those things would not create a good whole. So think about your paper and think about whether all the elements you've chosen to discuss are going to come together for a good finishing product. Okay, one thing that I noticed is that some of us don't have main claims, or if we do have a main claim, it's coming across as a question. Okay, claims are never ever questions. Your issue question is addressing the topic at hand. So, is homeschooling a good idea? That's a great issue question, but your claim is going to need to be something along the lines of homeschooling is not a good idea, is not providing a quality education, something along those lines, or homeschooling provides the warm, nurturing environment students need to experience personal growth, optimal personal growth, something like that. Okay, your issue might be, should we allow steroids in professional baseball, for instance? And then your main claim would be something like, no, we shouldn't allow steroids in professional baseball. Okay, so you get that idea. We don't have claims as questions. They're always answers. So make sure, first of all, that you take a look at your claim and make sure that it is an answer statement. It's not a question. Next, I have here the synthesis paper rubric. I don't know if you've taken the opportunity to look at that yet. You probably should. But I want you to look over here at the synthesis section. So in your feedback that I left you guys, some of you I said that your synthesis section of your synthesis paper needed to create a new and insightful answer to your question. So this is what I was talking about. Thought I would include the rubric here for you. The synthesis section right here, it says, point the arrow to it, that it's 45 to 41 points. That is the heaviest weighted section of this paper. Okay, so in that section, you've got 45 points worth of creating that new and insightful answer to your claim. And I'll explain a little bit more about that right now. Okay, so I found this fantastic quote from a lady named Colleen Warwick. She works for the University of Bowling Green, and she says, synthesis is related to but not the same as classification or division or comparison and contrast. Instead of merely attending to different categories and trying to find some sort of similarity or difference, synthesizing is a matter of pulling various sources together into some kind of harmony. So in the summary section of this paper, you will present each one of the different arguments, but in that synthesis section, that's the 45-point section, you need to pull them together to create a new whole. According to our assignment sheet, it says craft a distinct answer to the issue question, which encompasses both but isn't limited to either. Let your answer to the issue question guide this section. Dialogue with the text. Where do they converge? Where do they diverge? What does this teach us? This section should clearly demonstrate a new understanding and draws on the text. If you have any questions about this, send me an email and I can help you out. So how this fits into our overall research, I've had a few of you email me and ask me questions about this. Your synthesis paper largely will be able to be dropped right into your research argument paper, provided you stay on the same topic. The synthesis section of your paper should show the forming of your own opinion of your main claim, your own answer to that issue question. So guided by that portion of the paper, you'll then gather more resources specifically that support your new and insightful claim, and a few that present the counter argument. In a couple of weeks, we'll have 13 to 15 sources, so make sure you're finding those. You'll then turn that synthesis section into a fleshed out 12-page research paper. So if you do a great job on this synthesis paper, and I think that you guys will, I'm seeing a lot of really excellent learning and hard work, this will be the launch pad for the final paper of our course.